Hey, 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 my good people. Miss Sunshine here, bringing you a whole bunch of love, light, and, and a whole bunch of sunshine. I apologize, I'm sitting here tripping because I didn't press the record button. I was on my way to hit record, and I was like, well, I may not want to do it. And then I saw the timer start going without even me pressing it. So, I guess that was a sign in itself, like, you're gonna get this message out. Hey, throat chop. This message comes to you today. Wow. Oh, it's such a beautiful morning, guys, and I'm glad we're here today. I'm so glad. First, I had every intention on doing a second message, a second video yesterday. I had it all scripted out, or, I was ready. But, I've been having these headaches, and it's a transparent moment, so bear with me. Confirmation. I gotta get this out. My head's been bothering me, So, yesterday I went and got, aspirin or whatever, just get that headache down some. And I just wasn't feeling right yesterday evening. Took my blood pressure. Guys, first, the blood pressure machine that I have, no lie, my wrist blood pressure machine, it read error about 4 or 5 times and wouldn't read my blood pressure. When it finally did, I don't know. I shouldn't even be walking. Like, it was that high. And I can understand, I tell y'all, hold it. Just feel, not hold it, but feel it, experience it. But I'm just sharing this because I'm human too. And just like you, I'm working through this. So, long story short, I wasn't able to post it last night because, I'm watching my blood pressure, drinking some water, doing the things I needed to do because I knew what I was holding. And here's what's crazy. I knew why it was high. I did. And I thought, what I'm saying? Me in my mind, hey, it's whatever, but my body. See, that's the thing. We can try to release it in our mind, but our body will let us know if it's truly not released. So I got up this morning, took my blood pressure, and I wasn't going to post this morning because it was still a little bit iffy. But Spirit was just talking to me, and I just, did a few things, and now it's down to 121/86. Cool. So we'll get into this message of the day. But, as, we're at the end of the week, I really, the message for today that I already had written out, it kind of correlates to this story, because my story, the message for today is pretty much, I feel like my life was meant to be shared. These things that I'm going through went through a part of the human experience. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be shared with someone. It's meant to, just show individuals, for one, they're not alone. We're all going through this. And it's crazy because, they call me Miss Sunshine, I do try to bring a lot of light to situations. I do try to, keep it positive, have a different perspective of everything. But, sometimes people tend to think, if they're looking at your life like on social media or something like that from the outside in, because I've heard people, they just think not that it's hunky-dory, but they don't see the dark side of it. And they're not supposed to. And that's okay. So, you know, I wanted to share with you today that I'm a walking billboard. And I've said that before. I'm a walking billboard of, for one, transformation. For two, won't he do it type stuff. Coverage. You know, I've never been left. I've never been forsaken. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect though. I veered off the track. I've taken a left at Albuquerque. If you watch Bugs Bunny, you know. And I'm gonna tell you a funny little story about, because I always would tell people, man, I must have taken a left at Albuquerque. You know what I'm saying? So about, it was last year, I think it was. And I normally will not tell stories about other individuals, per se, specific individuals, only because of my respect for them. And, you know, it's always two sides to each story. So, you know, I'll say different references, but, you know, I try not to because I don't want to offend anyone. But my cousin is crazy. Let's just say that. After my last chemo treatments and I rung the bell, my cousin, I still had my ostomy bag, but my cousin wanted to take me to Vegas on a road trip and drive there, okay? And I'm in Tennessee, let me tell you that first off. So it was like a 26-hour drive. I don't know, it was 20-something hours. You're in the vehicle, and it was just her and I. And I'm gonna make this a really short story. I love my cousin to death. She is my boo. She is my boo. About 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, we're going through, you know, we're going through all these states. It's so beautiful. Let me tell you, it was the most beautiful trip. I fall asleep, wake up, it's about 3, 4 in the morning, and by now we should be pulling up in Vegas. Guys, I kid you not, I'm not gonna lie to you. We were in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This bitch took a wrong turn on Albuquerque. My whole life came full circle, because never in a million years, as much as I've said it, would I have thought that I would have actually, in real life, took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. So it was just a laughable moment. So I say all that to let you know, but we got back on the path and we made it to Vegas. That's like my life. And in that moment, it was like a full circle of, you know, you may get off at the wrong exit. You may take that wrong turn at Albuquerque, but you have the ability to get back on the road and get to your destination. So that's leading in, you know what I'm saying, to me, like really realizing that I was always protected. But it wasn't always like that. I've had dark nights, y'all. I've had really dark nights. I've been triggers to other people. Oh yeah, I trigger some folks. I've been a toxic one in some situations. I have to take full accountability for it, because if I sit here and say, nah, I've never been toxic, I've never triggered anyone, that would be a lie. That would be such a lie. It'd be a lie. I have also projected. I've projected on other people. I've done these things. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? The good part about it, I was able to get to a point to see, you know, and to realize while doing this shadow work that, hey, you toxic. Hey, you doing that just because you're reacting to what someone else did doesn't make it less toxic. Sometimes we think we're validated when someone does something to us. When we react, we think we're validated in our actions because they made us do it. Now, I can understand us doing it, and I can understand why, but at the end of the day, the realization that it doesn't make you less toxic than they are had to hit real. It had to come home hard for me. So, you know, in my younger years, okay, I thank goodness, like at this current moment, I don't drink. I haven't drank in a minute now, and each time I had tried out, you know, through this journey after having cancer, oh my gosh, my head just the alcohol, I can't do it. But let me tell you, and you know, this is just me being transparent, so you guys do know, so you guys don't think I'm on here and I'm like, oh, I'm sunshiny, I don't do, no. And I want to tell my story. I don't need nobody else telling it, because I'm okay with, you know, my story. I'm okay with my past, because it got me to this point of who I am now. It allowed me to grow. It allowed me to see what I liked within me, what I felt like was purposeful within me. Okay, if that makes any sense. You know, at a younger age, in my younger years, yeah, I drank alcohol. And it's so crazy because in my younger years, I used to drink, but I drank in a way. And okay, guys, you have to realize, now men, I've seen men all over. Now, men, stop trying to, you know what I'm saying, get a chick drunk so you can get some. I had my brother and my god brothers, and we always went out or whatever. Or I was the youngest one in the little clique, and they like were my protectors or whatever. But because of their actions, it allowed me to see what other people were doing. So in my younger years, when I was drinking, sometimes I'd have to out drink a dude because he's sitting there, and you know, you would see the fellas trying to get you drunk so they could take advantage of you. So I became unknowingly, almost, I called myself like a lush or something. You know, I wouldn't get drunk, but when I did, you know what I'm saying, get to that point, they were all, you know, if you're in the crowd or whatever, they're already 210 in the wind. So I'm out drinking fellas, and I was a little tomboy anyway. So I mean, but I'm hanging around my brothers and them. So in my younger years, you know, it started out drinking and it's for fun, but now I'm drinking as a protective measure, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're trying to get me drunk, but I can drink. You know what I'm saying? And it just moved on. It escalated because, you know, then life just happened. So now my drinking just became, now my drinking was just a way to escape. Casual drinking, just a way to escape. Not an angry drinker. My filters would come off while drinking, you know, because I mean, if I'm a drink, I don't want to have to use brain power. And unfortunately, what that did was, it always left me in a state where, and I wouldn't even drink a lot, you know, into, you know, some of these years, But that just left me in a state, and I didn't even realize that I was going through the motions. I was pretty much going through the motions, but I was suppressing so much stuff. You know, you come home from work, have a 6-pack in the refrigerator, and you know what I'm saying? It's nothing. You know, not about getting drunk, nothing. But I think towards the end of me drinking, you know, I started seeing other people drinking, and I really started paying attention to not only their actions when they were drinking. I would pay attention to how it made me feel. If you're around individuals that are either angry drinkers or cry every time, get sentimental every time they drink, it can have your pressure up. And if you can find yourself leaning into other people's emotions and you being triggered because someone else is triggered. So at some point I had to stop drinking because I didn't like what I saw in other people. So that meant, but it was reflecting me. It was almost like a mirror. You know, you're looking at them and you're like, is that what I sound like? Is that what I look like? And it takes its toll. So it was so divine. And I don't know. To a certain extent, I'm kind of thankful I got sick, because sometimes you have to be pulled out of the fire to see how high the blaze is. And that just allowed me to really see in full what I was actually suppressing, you know, why I was doing the things that I did. And it was a lot of trauma. It was a lot of trauma, and it was emotional numbness. Seriously, I went through life, and from the outside it looked good, but we all know, you know, you can look at a household and you can really think from the outside it looks good. No one knows what goes on inside of people's households. And people are out here judging you because of what they see from the outside. So, you know, we're always taught to, okay, in an African American household, what goes on in this house stays in this house. I don't know how many kids, how many people. It could be in other households. I don't know. But I know in this community, that is what is told to us. Period. So, in a certain sense, emotional numbness. That's what it was. And I didn't see that until years and years and years later. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a lot of shadow work. Just, I really had to go deep within. Deep. And it was just like survival-based living. I was in survival mode. I've always been in survival mode because there was something I was always fighting my way out of, whether people knew it or not. So I'm saying all this because we're all feeling like we're alone out here and we're going through these things. And no, my life ain't all cheesy. It hadn't been all cheesy, but I'm going to tell you what, because of all the stuff that has gone on in my life, and because of all the darkness that I've seen, I've had to start creating my own sunshine. Sunshine wasn't coming to me. I said, fuck it. If I can't have sunshine come to me, I'm going to create my own. And that's what I've done. That's what I have done. I've created my own sunshine. You can't tell me it's not bright. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, going from, survival-based living You can't fear that process. You can't fear that process, going from survival based living to doing that shadow work and coming up out of it. Don't fear it. Don't fear that process. Alignment requires release and relief. So when we ask for clarity, clarity brings discomfort. Clarity brings discomfort. And in order to be aligned, oh, it had to hurt. It had to hurt. Those tower moments, oh yeah, they hurt. They hurt because it's releasing. It's releasing something that's no longer aligned with you. You know, getting down to the root of why. Sometimes it's being a people pleaser. You know, people think just because, like, you may be blunt or whatever, sometimes that's a defense mechanism to keep you off of people, to keep people off of you. You know what I'm saying? You're blunt because it's like, okay, no, that's that wall. You can't even get past this wall. Stop. Bloom. Yeah. But the thing of being a people pleaser, you'll make yourself sick within your body because you're out of alignment, and your body keeps trying to tell you disease, dis-ease. Dis-ease. Your body's not at ease. We're like, oh, I got a disease. No, you're at dis-ease. And until we ease our bodies are talking to us. We're not listening. Oh, we're not listening. But I'm telling you all that just to let you know, like, it ain't always been sunshine. I've had to go deep within. People are like, look at yourself. Oh, don't come at me telling me that. No, you don't know the work I've done. You don't know the work that I'm continually doing. You know what I'm saying? But it's a wonderful thing to be able to be able to share, to be able to be like, yeah, I was toxic. Yeah, I was. Yeah, there were years. I'm 53. If I say I was never toxic, you know, there might be somebody be like, oh, I disagree. And you know what? It's okay. It is okay. You know, the good thing is not even making amends, but, you know, being accountable for what you have done. You know what I'm saying? And this is why my exes were cool. Because I don't do stuff with bad intentions. You know what I'm saying? But at this point in my life, you know, rose-colored glasses, they're off. I can see everything for what it is. I can even see me for what I am. And at this point in my life, I'm really looking forward to making memories. I wake up every day like, okay, there's a new miracle waiting on me. What beauty can I make? You know, what good stuff can I see? I'm excited. And I know my guides, my angels, I know they be up there tripping. They be looking at me like, ooh, what's this girl gonna do today? Because it's no telling. The sky is the limit. And I don't care where you started from. I don't care how you started this journey out. Your past ain't gonna dictate your future if you've made that decision to do this work. And it's okay. And don't let people bring you back to who you used to be. You know, people will do that a lot. People will be like, well, I remember when. And I'll be like, well, I remember when too. You know. But you know, people often forget that when they were bullying you, that this is why you got so defensive. When they were doing X, Y, Z to you, this is why your heart closed off and it's a wall built around it. No one sees that. But unfortunately, the person that it hurts the most is you. It hurts you. Once I slow down enough to see that miracles and blessings, they always find me. They always find me. And I was always covered. I let a lot of stuff go. And that's how I live now. I let it go because I know I'm covered. Still finding ways to release it within my body, because in my mind, man, all right, but your body has a way of be like, nah, that's not total release. Just because you said you forgot about it means nothing. You have to release it. You know, whether it's a deep breath, whether it's a walk in nature, whether it's 5 minutes to yourself, you I'm gonna get this out. You have to. You have to. Because you can kill yourself. Our bodies are sitting up here talking to us. If you sit still and, you know what I'm saying, you can feel your body. But we're too busy doing everything else. And, oh, I got a stomach ache. Or, oh, this hurts. But you're not realizing that toxic person that just walked in the room and your stomach started clenching up. That's your body telling you, hey, that ain't right. Your body sends you signs and signals. It's talking to you so deeply. You know, listening to it is key. So, in saying my life had to be shared and saying that, you know what I'm saying, I've had my dark nights, I've done this, I'm just saying, once you do that shadow work, you in the wilderness, you out there alone, you're facing yourself. Sometimes you can get to the point where I can see how, like, folks say you wake up and you feel born again. Because when you get to the point where your inner child feels safe and can come out to play, you're at a whole nother level of living. And that's where I'm at. My inner child, she's so happy right now. She said, oh yeah. She said, I've been waiting for this all my life. Oh, all my life I've been waiting for this. So I'm telling you. And I've spent this whole time, and I didn't mean to go down this dark side or anything like that, but it's being honest about me. I don't want you to ever think that I'm coming on here and it's just, oh, she's a sunshine, and you know what I'm saying? And then other people, you know, people that know me be like, yeah, when she cussed me out. No. Because there's two sides to every coin. And there's two sides to every story. And I've always been the type of individual, I'll let you know my role. I don't dim my role in anything. So my role in life, what I have brought to the table, and in realizing that, and in knowing I have brought so much of this negative energy to the table, not knowing. It's that hurt, that pain, that stuff they don't teach us how to deal with. That trauma. Because we all got it. So I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm trauma free, I'm all that. No, I'm not. But I find my own sunshine. Sunshine, and I've done it for so long that I am now sunshine. Yeah, I didn't, this name wasn't just, no, I worked for this. I created my sunshine so much that I am now sunshine. It's every inch of me. It's in my essence. I am love. I am love reincarnated. That's, you know, what I have to give. But I had to share this part of my story so that you would know it is okay. You don't have to be perfect. Just be you. We're not perfect. But just love on you as you are. Meet you where you are. Come on along for this ride. I'm going to end this out by saying thank you if you've made it this far. You know, it will reach who it needs to reach. And if it resonates with you, you know, you can feel this, you know, take what you need. If it don't, leave it. You know what I'm saying? This isn't for everyone, but the people it's for, you'll know. But as always, I'm going to leave you with some love, some light, and you know, a whole bunch of sunshine. And as always, if anyone hasn't told you today, on this beautiful day, that they love you, I love you. I love you with every piece of my heart. I love you. And I hope you know, you have a wonderful day and you be safe.